Hi, it's Ian from Forward Cycling. Just wanted to do a quick video to share my excitement of our very first cyclocross bike, the Cx. Fairly obvious with the name. So this is actually my race bike. This is one of two. That is my A bike, and what I've done is they are actually pink, those ends there on the cranks, although they look red, but they're not, they're pink. So my A bike, or my number one bike, has the pink ends on, and then my B bike has black ends on the cranks there. We'll come back to the two differences between the two bikes in a minute. So just a quick overview of the bike, and then I'll add some details about what you would get if you were having one of these built and what optional extras I've got on mine. So available in a number of sizes, as specifications now all on the website, and the geometry is on the website. So I'll just give you an overview of what spec this is. So this is a Di2 model. It's got the GRX 1x model, and I've opted for the wide ratio version. The bike will be available in close ratio or wide ratio, but that's down to the customer's requirements. I particularly like wide ratio, so that's what I've gone for. I'm running a 42 front chainring. We'll get into the spec of the cranks in a second. And then I have an 1140 rear cassette. So I don't go all that to the 42 on this. I do on my gravel bikes, but on the cross bike I haven't. And then it's got GRX Di2 rear mechanism. Obviously it's full Di2 group set. So we've got the GRX levers, Di2 levers, 815s, and I map the shifters so that the left lever, which would normally be your front shifting, I map that to duplicate my rear shifter, which is the right hand side. So for any reason I'll be able to just change that. The standard specification of the Di2 cyclocross bikes have the mount underneath the stem for the Di2 junction box. You could, if you prefer to have it mounted into the end of the bar end, you could have that as an optional extra. It would just be the cost of the parts to go into the end of there, but the standard group set from the UK distributor comes with the underbar mount, so that's what we use, and then we use the proper mount there to hold that under there nicely. I've gone with two 10mm spacers underneath my stem with a 5mm gain from the bracket, and that gets me millimeter perfect to what my X was, running a 110mm Pro LT handlebar stem. We have our signature 10mm top cap, and that then ensures that I can have the carbon steerer going all the way through the stem, and I prefer to build my bikes like that for extra security, that it's not being clamped onto the end of the steerer tube. And then we've just had a little bit of fun there, which is not like me, but we've put a little pink donut cap on the top there from JRC Components for a bit of fun. So as a 110 stem, it's a 42 bar, and we've gone with the LT, so this gives me zero flare, so there's no flare on there. Really nice bar and stem, super happy with them, and it means that the specification keeps in line with all our other bikes, because we do like the Pro kit. It's got freebie bar tape, which is the stuff we love. It wraps absolutely beautifully. There's a figure of 8 on there. It's a figure of 8 around the STI, and we have our signature end there, so the bar tape matches the end tape, so it's not just insulating tape, it's all matched in nicely there. And then you'll be happy to know that these are both 50mm, the gaps there, so that's all measured up nicely. All of the CX frames are painted in the factory, so these haven't got the one-off paint jobs that we have on all our gravel bikes and the road bike and the mountain bike here in the UK. So we have made a difference on the inside of the stay there, so they actually say FFR, which is Forwards Factory Racing. So all of the factory painted have got that on the inside of the stay, so you know that they weren't hand painted in the UK. I fit the wolf tooth chain guide on there They've been incredible. Touch wood, never had a chain drop with these in all my cyclocross racing in the last 2 years. I do see a few competitors with their chain dropped and do wonder why they don't just fit a chain guide, but I do fit that, and the bike as standard doesn't come with it, but I'd thoroughly recommend that you add one of those, and that can obviously be done when we build the bike for you. So this bike is has got the Hunt wheels on it as well. So I'm using the C35 Aero wheels, which are actually a road wheel. I've raced these now for over a season, and they've been incredible. I'm quite an aggressive rider, so I do sort of hit things sort of probably fairly hard, but what I do is I run a tyre liner in here. So I've got the Vittoria gravel tyre liner in there, which fits the Vittoria Torino mixed or the Torino tyre really well. And we've not had any problem with the carbon rim. It's just been super strong and just been fantastic. They're using the nicer hub, but this is an upgrade on my bike, and I'll just go through in a second the upgrades when I've covered this off. So the tyres we're specifying are actually 31C, and we're doing that because when I did the World Championship this year, we realised that the 33mm tubeless tyres on this rim, which is a 19mm internal, actually comes up too big. They're coming up at 35, and then the UCI would have caught us out with that. So we're actually specifying 31s as standard, and then that gets you to 33 when you measure it properly. So that's what we're specifying. If you wanted us to put 33s on, we could just put a 33 on there for you. Little strange details which I'll just show you in case you've seen them in the photography. I've just labelled each bike as a CX and then the number, which one they are. And if anyone wondered what on earth this R bit on the end, that's just my power meter ant number, so that I can sync it up with my watch easily. Little details like the rubber bungs here. Just we've sourced these specifically to fill in the holes which are on the fork, so we don't get any water ingress into the fork, because from factory they come with a hole there. So we've done that. The paint finish from the factory we're super happy with. It is unlike ours. Our UK painted ones, they do have like a flow. It's a flow graphic, so it's a transfer on there, which is then clear coated over the top. So the finish is really good. It's more akin to our original forwards bikes with the graphic. So that's how they're done, not stenciled. The other upgrade on my bike, I mean, I've only really got the two main upgrades. I've gone for the Di2 one. All my bikes are Di2, so I kind of want it to be Di2. It's really, really good when you're racing cross, because it will just deal with the poor conditions. It doesn't matter about all the weight of the mud and stuff in there. It'll just get the gears changed. So I have gone with the Di2 option. You'll be able to see the price on the website for the standard Di2 build. And then the two main upgrades I've got are the carbon wheel upgrade, and I've gone with a rotor power meter. So it's got the full rotor Aldo cranks, iRider 170mm if anyone was interested, and then I've got the InSpider power meter. It's really just because I'm a geek and I want to have all the numbers to go into my data, so I can then track that on my training platform and stuff. The standard build would come with a GRX chain set in whichever crank length we needed after your bike fit, and then we can choose gear ratios according to what you're running, whether you're going to do wide ratio or close ratio gearing. So we can discuss that when it gets to that stage if you wanted to. I've also got XTR pedals on my bike. I just use them on all of the bikes, and it just means that the bike fit is precise across all my different bikes. So that's why I've got XTR. They do have the logo on the top as you'd expect from ours. That's how we put our logos for the model. And we've gone bigger with the CX, a bit more shouty. And then it's got the little flag on the back of the seat tube there. I use Exos sensors. So that's an Exos speed sensor. Again, just for me geeking out after the race with my numbers. And then I'm loving these Pro Stealth saddles at the moment. So this is the smaller size. and it's just a superb balance of specification and comfort. I mean, it's the most comfortable saddle I've ridden, and it fits really, really well with our fitting system that we use here at Forwards, which is the bikefitting.com system. So I think I've covered most stuff there. In case you're interested, the key differences between my A bike and my B bike, it's exactly the same build, literally to the millimetre. We've got an incredible jig here to be able to, a laser aligned jig basically, to jig the bikes up to get them perfectly fitted. The difference is that my A bike has got the mixed tyre on, and my B bike, I have currently got the wet tyres on. And then you can see there that that one's labelled as a Cx2. I did the end of the cranks so that I can see the differences between the bikes quickly, because I'm getting a bit old now, so my eyesight's a bit pant, so I wouldn't be able to see that on the head tube very fast. So there you go, that's just a quick, excited overview of the new Forward Cx race bikes. They're going out first time tomorrow at Southampton in a race scenario, so really excited about that. Hopefully we'll get a good result. It's super cold down here, so hopefully the ground will be nice and hard and not as muddy as the last race. I guess you've seen the footage, or definitely the photos, of the huge amounts of mud that was attached to my bike. So we couldn't be happier. It's taken us a couple of years to get to the stage that we can launch something like this. Hope you like it. If you've got any questions, just let me know, drop me a message, or see me at the races and stuff. Thanks very much for watching.